Hello PC gamers and welcome to my unboxing overview for the Gigabyte GTX 1066 gig. This is the overclocked model featuring the WINDFORCE 2x cooling system. Warning, may contain awesome. I picked this up from Newegg. I'm quite eager to rip into it. It's competing quite strongly with the RX 480, which I was actually after, but with a little bit of a discount that I got from the store and Visa, it actually came out to cheaper since there was no availability of the other card whatsoever. Anyways, it's an excellent card for the money. Some nice minimalistic packaging here. It tells you everything you need to know about the card, and not too large. I've bought other video cards with just massive packaging and stuff that comes in it. This was pretty much nothing other than the manual and the card itself, and a little CD with the drivers, of course. Here we are opening it up. Now it's nicely packed in this foam, which is very important. The worst thing that can happen, catastrophic. You get the card and it's DOA, got damaged during the shipping. Terrible thing to happen. So it's always good to see it's well packaged. Of course, we get the anti-static bag. Let's cut that open and take a look at this beauty. And look at that. Beautiful Gigabyte logo on the back there, and a nice backplate. Good to see on pretty much any card you can get. It was on my checklist of things to get, and this particular backplate meets up with the cooler on the back and is actually part of the cooling system, so it's well designed. Here on the side you can see our 6-pin connector, and you see a nice big heat pipe sticking out of the side, which is always a good sign, and a massive heatsink covering it. When we flip it around, we can see all the connectors are actually covered over, which is great to see. Protects them during the shipping. And the reverse side, and here you can see the rear of the card where it actually meets up with the back plate. It's a really well designed cooler. It actually overhangs the length of the card. And it's quite the cooling system. We'll talk about that a little later on. Very nice design, twin cooling fans of course. Everything's spinning and ready to go. Let's just pull off those connectors. This card features a dual DVI setup, an HDMI, and a full display port. Of course, the cooling grate just above there. Last of all, pull off the protective plastic covering our PCI Express nub there, and stick that in our slot. We're ready to play some games, baby. Let's go. And that card is beautiful and ready to go. It really feels like a premium product in your hands. Now in all, it's about just under 9 inches long. You can see it compared to my old video card there. And in the bottom of the box, we have the install guide and the driver's CD. The driver's CD has a handy utility, the Gigabyte Extreme engine, for overclocking the card. I'd still go to the actual website, make sure you have the most up-to-date version. And the GeForce drivers, same thing there. Always get them off the website. By the time you get the CD, they're usually out of date. They also give you the Google toolbar, DirectX 9.0C, great, and a user's manual, probably the same as the user's manual that's in the box too. This user's manual just shows you the different ports and then tells you to put it in your slot in every different possible language in this long accordion thing that you'll never be able to fold up again. I don't even know why they included that. And some interesting points about the card in general. Now, it actually will turn off the fan, if you can believe it, when it hits 50 degrees Celsius. So check it out. It actually cools down very well and effectively, never goes over 72 even when overclocking. And this crazy thing is when you hit 50, the fans just stop. And the next model up actually has a light that comes on and lets you know the fans stop. This one doesn't have the LEDs, but it's interesting to see how effective the cooler is, that it just continues to drop. No problem, it handles it like a champ, and it's beyond quiet. There's just no fanage. I mean, in the past you'd have to buy a card specifically with no fans and a big heatsink, and this card just takes care of it. Turns off, nice and quiet, nice and efficient. Moving on, another interesting point about this card is while I was testing it, I noticed that the GPU actually got up to 1923 megahertz. Now this is on the stock overclock. Now this is because the card basically has a recommended guaranteed clock is what the card will be listed as, but it actually has the overhead and the cooling to go above that, and there's nothing stopping it other than what it's pre-described on the card. So NVIDIA's claim that you can overclock this to 2 gigahertz easily seems like a no-brainer because we're already at 1900 on this stock overclock, so we'll try that next. Now I tested it with 3D Mark 11 and everything scored pretty well considering I'm using an Phenom II X6, which is an older processor. but it really handled everything like a champ in games as well too. Now I did a little overclocking with the TimeSpy benchmark. You'll notice I don't have a CPU score because my CPU is old and doesn't support this currently. So by the default clocks it was running about 4,000 and it gained about 300 points when you overclocked it. It went to 2 gigahertz, no problem, just had to put up the voltage like 20% and you can just keep going. I didn't want to push it too far, but it's a great overclocker, and the cooling did not go over 72 Celsius, so that was just incredible, which was the same when it wasn't overclocked as well, I should know. Now, of course, I did some gaming. I tried out The Witcher 3, one of the most intensive games I've been playing. I could hardly get like 20-30 frames in this before, but now it's just running perfectly. You got everything maxed out, the hair works, everything looks great, runs great. And it's really a huge improvement if you played like halfway through and now you can just enjoy the quality having played it on a lower settings, suddenly having a full, really great performance boost, especially considering my older CPU kind of bottlenecks it, but it really just handled everything I threw at it like a champ and revitalized my old system like I couldn't believe. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my unboxing overview for this card. Please subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Control point capture is underway.